Kai Show FMers, it's me, FM Cheetah. You can call me Matt, and welcome back to a special transfer episode of Bats Out of Hell. Vamos! But first a look at the season so far. 3 games in, 3 wins in a row. We're 9 points with an 8-goal difference. Top of the table, just above Barcelona on goals scored, with Sevilla and Real Madrid 3 points behind. That is a very, very nice start to the season. Now, of course, if we dig a little deeper here, we'll find that 2 of those 3 opening games perhaps weren't the toughest games. Away to Cadiz with a 4-1 victory, and then home to Espanyol. Espanyol probably favourites for relegation, a 5-1 shellacking. However, the next game, away to Real Sociedad, a 2-1 victory. Let's have a look. So we probably squeaked this game out, 13 shots, a bit over half on target, a much better XG. So perhaps we should have had a better result than 2-1, but nonetheless, look, an away victory down in Anoeta, a club that we will definitely be competing with at the top end of the table. Very nice way to start the season. It began with Rakic's goal, a header from a guy across, nice finish there from the deep lying midfielder. Then it was an interchange between Juarez and Alash Moriba. Alash Moriba, beautiful near post finish there. Perhaps not the greatest keeping in the world. Then comes the equaliser from Isaac, who was threatening all game. Crosses in and David Silva, puts it away. It was too late though. It was a 2-1 victory. Another 3 points that put us top of the table. But of course, what you're here for is transfers, and we'll start with Gabriel Paulista, who has gone to Newcastle for 20 million. Now, very, very solid defender, of course. We could have done with him staying. You know, he's fast, he's powerful, but he is, look, at 30, he's probably fully cooked, and we're not going to see much change here anyway. And we do have some young defenders. However, his departure did leave a hole in the central defence, which we needed to address. But before that, the one departure we were worried about, and that was Maxi Gomez. Maxi Gomez, everyone was slipping around him. Finally, very late in the piece, because there was very little activity, of course, prior to that. It was those last sort of few days where everything went hell for leather. Bayern came in with a bid, 35 million, which to be honest was fine. And of course, Maxi wanted to go anyway. It's Bayern München. You can't blame him. So he's off to Bayern München. He's out of La Liga. We like that. At least he didn't go to another La Liga team. 35 mil. This 35 with the 20 mil from Gabriel Paulista. Not that we got to keep it all. We got to keep a tiny, tiny portion of it because Peter Lim, he doesn't like opening up the purse strings. I think we invested pretty wisely though. We're going to start with the loanees, and they're going to look a bit familiar too if you've been following Conquering Clough. Here's 19-year-old Paulo Bernardo again. Yes, look, we had a look. He seems pretty good. It seems like another good version of Paulo Bernardo. Hopefully even better version. Anyway, he's here in on loan. But of course, it wouldn't be a cheater loan without an option to buy. Just shy of 19 mil. Where are we going to get 19 mil from? No idea, to be honest. But anyway, it's there if we can get the money. And of course, if Paulo performs. But this was an important role. We needed a bit more kind of creativity in midfield, but not just some kind of like running forward, tearing back. So Paulo comes in pretty fresh from a player trait point of view. He just likes to dictate tempo. And we love a deep-lying playmaker who loves to tackle. That's for sure. And it might mean that Rakic can play more like box-to-box instead of deep-lying because his vision isn't as good as someone like Bernardo. And I like to have those options. You know, you want to have more than just a sort of same player on repeat, swapping in and out. You want to be able to sort of dynamically change the performance during a game. Anyway, welcome, Paulo. And the other familiar face, Francisco Conceição. So we were looking at Francisco, we're looking at João Mario. We knew on the right we maybe had some issues. I certainly wasn't going to play
awkward
Helder Costa, the other Portuguese here. And it turns out that Francisco came in with a big, I think, A- in general. And again, looks really good. Another Conquering Clough favourite. He's in as a squad player. And of course, an option to buy. This one, an absurd 30 million. Maybe a couple of loans. And then we can buy him. Anyway, we'll see how he goes. We have options out there, of course. We've got Soler. We've got Yunus Musa. But having him here also provides us with an opportunity to play Soler and Musa in central midfield instead. And look, he's very good. He's very good. He's very brave young man. He's got pace. You know, he's got technicals. He's got potential. Like I said, maybe just like at Forest, maybe we loan him in a couple of times. That option to buy drops a little bit, or we get a little bit more money and we bring him in. It'll all depend, of course, on his performances. But where did the money go? Well, part of it went to Oscar Mingeta. Oscar Mingeta, the Barcelona central defender, come maybe wing back on defence. Seems okay. I mean, obviously these ratings are based on the squad around him, but look, From an attribute point of view, it looks nice. From a play trait point of view, it doesn't look too bad. It doesn't have anything amazing or poor in pros and cons. So, and look, for that money, we did need to replace Gabriel Paulista, and I'm glad we got to replace it with a young Catalan. Remembering that, of course, Alderete, the Paraguayan, is here on loan. Now, it's only a $7 million option to buy him. But look, if he doesn't perform, we end the season with Mingeta, Diakabi, and Codet. And that's a nice way to be. All of the 23 are under. So our future in central defence, not to forget Christian Mosquera, who's going on alone, the future of our central defence looks pretty healthy. But of course, replacing Maxi Gomez's goal was crucial. Welcome Vitinha in from Braga. I did have a little offline Braga save at one stage, and I was really surprised how good this guy was. 21, still looks like he's got some potential there, but from an attribute point of view, looks amazing. Another pressing forward, so not a target forward like Gomez, but I don't think that's too big a deal. Works hard, got great finishing. Maybe his composure's a little off, but you know, he's still a young guy. He'll work on that. Came in for initial 15, rising to 30 with goals scored and appearances. I think for a 21-year-old prospect like Vitinha, that's probably pretty good. So we've got Vitinha, we've got Loni Uguduro with a $3 million option to buy, and we have Andre the Brazilian. We've got 3 strikers. And that was the transfer window. It was never going to be huge. It was always going to be a bit rushed at the end, and as it turned out, it was. But I think that's good. If we look at the squad, it looks a lot more balanced now, to be honest. There's a lot more support in midfield. We know the right and left back positions are good. Up front, we have plenty of striking power. We also have Andre Garcia here, who looks pretty good. He's a poacher. He's 18. Looks like he's got plenty of potential. Not the greatest attributes in the world, but, you know, could come on the bench for cup games, things like that. Might even feature. Guedes, which there was so much interest in, and a couple of really weak bids, has stayed. Now, he's still wanted, so he might end up going in the winter transfer window, but he's still here. Churchev is here. Helder Costa is here, who can play right and left. You'll notice that Brian Hill has gone. I had to let Brian Hill go because of the wages, to be quite honest. If I was going to bring others in, he needed to go. And now if we look at right and left, I think it looks a bit more balanced. So Guedes starting with support from Churchev. Costa could be on the bench as a possible relief for injuries, things like that. And let's not forget Jesus Vasquez. Jesus Vasquez can play as a winger. Now, is he a winger? No, he's not a winger. But he, along with Jose Gaya, can step into that role. So defensive winger role if and when we need it. So I feel like the squad is slightly better balanced. Yes, we've lost Gomez. That was probably going to happen. He's super affordable. I'm pretty sure in every save I've ever run, he gets bought first season. And again, he's gone to the Bundesliga. It's not going to be a threat to us. Unless we meet them in the Champions League. And that's it. That's it here from the Mestalla. That's all the transfers. You've seen where we're at. Wanted to keep this short just to let you know what happened, because transfers, you know, we're all interested in those. You know, it's kind of the good crunchy stuff that we like to do as FM players and watchers. Not a big transfer window, but I think, you know, a solid one. Anyway, that's it for now. We will be back with an episode proper. Remember, that game's a home game against Athletic Club Bilbao. We also have Real Betis in there and BRL. So a couple of big games. But that period is an opportunity to rack up some points, because there are some sort of middle to lower teams. Some of them are important. Some of them will need to beat to make sure we end up top half the table, possibly in Europe. Maybe the Champions League. Who knows? We'll find out soon, though. Hope you'll join me next time for a full episode of Bats Out of Hell. Thank you again for joining me today. Don't forget to drop a like on the video and a subscription. And if you want to know when the episodes come out, drop a follow on Twitter. And don't forget the Twitch channel as well. There's plenty of things happening over there. Anyway, that's it for now. Until next time, La Starate.